Hi, and welcome to CMPP Speakers for Schools programme. My name is Rachel, and today I'm going to be chatting to Chris Thornton. Now, Chris is the Director of Operations for Bramah HR. So he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does and how he got to where he is today. So, hi, Chris.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you. Yeah, really pleased to be here. So, yeah, hopefully I can give you a bit of insight.
Thank you. So, Chris, tell us then, so you're Director of Operations. Tell us what it is you actually do and what the Director of Operations does.
Yeah, so I essentially do all things processes within our business. So I help to define and basically document all of our processes, and also sort of advise and help out on how we sort of transact with our customers. So that would mean sort of defining our sort of pricing structures, talking with our director to nail down how we want to sort of work with our customers, but also to help steer our sort of our colleagues and contractors that we work with on how we'd like them to sort of do things for Bramah HR, and how they represent us as a company with our customers. So that's sort of like a really sort of high level view of what that looks like as operations director.
So Bramah HR, then just tell us a little bit about what Bramah HR is and what it sort of stands for.
Yeah, so we are an outsourced HR and recruitment company. So that essentially means that we do all things people practice within businesses, within our customer setups. So we will manage their employees, and we'll help them sort of define plans to sort of manage their people. So we will do everything from doing employee contracts to working with well-being within businesses, and we'll also we'll cover all sorts of processes that will need to be present within a business. So we will cover grievances, disciplinaries. We're there for employees to talk to us about their experiences within the business. We're essentially that person that they can come and talk to if they've got any requirements that might pop up as they do their job, and we facilitate them doing their job for the business essentially. Right. We also have our recruitment arm, so we basically provide the full end-to-end recruitment process. So that is bringing people into a business, and we will conduct interviews, we will screen different candidates for different roles, and we will essentially manage that process so that the company doesn't have to run through the full hiring process, and we do that for them.
Super, sounds really fascinating. And HR sort of stands for human resources. I think
human resources.
Yeah, and larger companies have that all in-house. So you're then facilitating not necessarily smaller companies, but ones that aren't the big corporate sort of companies as such. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So typically, as you said, lots and lots of corporates will already have their HR team that will do all of what I've just mentioned, and we'll run that full end-to-end process. We focus on those businesses that don't necessarily have that infrastructure already there, and we will act as their HR department. So we can basically run that process for them, get them to a position where they can then bring people in, and then run their own HR department without us in time. That's the goal for us.
Yeah. Super. And so how did you get to where you are today then? Just sort of going back from when you left school, and have you always wanted to do sort of HR or?
No, so I think I'll start with a little bit of advice for people, I think, and it's a common bit of advice, and that is don't put all of your eggs in one basket, and you'll hear that a lot, I think. So I was set on being a footballer all through school. So I played for Luton Town and their academy for 5 or 6 years. So I was part of their setup from the age of 11, and I was set on being a professional footballer. So I didn't really focus too much on my studies, which I should have done. I sort of resigned myself to the fact that I was going to be a footballer and nothing else was going to change that. But I got to sort of 15, 16-ish. I had an injury, and within a blink of an eye, my football career was over. And I was right at the beginning, sort of, well, midway through my GCSEs. And my world sort of came tumbling down, to be honest, because the dream was kind of over. So I was kind of in this phase of thinking, oh, what am I going to do now? I'm going to have to go and think about what I'm going to do for a job, and am I going to go to university, all this sort of stuff. And I kind of just got through it, to be honest with you. I did my GCSEs, did my A-levels. I didn't end up going to university. And then at the age of about 18, 19, I kind of had this realization that, okay, I need to get a job and I'm going to try a load of things and see where it sort of takes me. So I did every trade under the sun. I tried building, plumbing. I tried to be an electrician, a carpenter. I did it all. And I was absolutely terrible at all of them. I just couldn't use my hands were just not working. It didn't make any sense in my mind. So I actually got a bit of advice from a careers advisor, actually, who worked for a large recruitment agency called Reed. And they actually gave me some really, really good advice and said, look, let's get you started in an office role. Even if you're starting off in, office admin, sales support, something along those lines, where you are not necessarily sort of senior member of staff, but you're going in to do a job, and you're getting a feel for what that actually looks like and how office work really is. So I then got my first office job working for an international courier, working within their sales support team, purely to bring on new business and help the new business people to bring on their new business. So all I was doing was sales documentation. I was literally just sort of order processing, or I was helping to finalize contracts for new businesses that were joining our organization. So I started there, and I absolutely loved working in an office as part of a team. And then I started to get a bit more direction on what I wanted to do. But I think it's very hard to know what you want to do, but that's not necessarily a problem. And things can evolve, and you can come across things in different lines of work that might sort of spark your imagination for what you could do and get you into a position where you can build that experience to do so. There's never a sort of straight path, I don't think. So anyway, I moved from Deltec into various other roles within the sort of sales arena, because I enjoyed the sales environment. So I tried different industries from then. I worked within the sort of tax and accounting world. I moved into sales support positions for a small company, a startup business that was doing refrigerators, believe it or not. So these are large sort of cold rooms, and not your standard fridge you've got at home. Right. But yeah. So I was running the full end-to-end sales process, and also acting as an office manager for that business. And then I thought, I need to get a bit of experience within a larger sort of corporate business. So I sort of targeted larger businesses and went for interviews at a number of different places. And then I eventually ended up at BMW Group in the automotive industry. So I joined their corporate leasing arm, which was essentially where businesses rent vehicles from an organization like us. So I was in their sort of initially their customer service team, just picking up the phones to anybody calling into Alphabet, the company is called. And I then moved through various departments, and eventually ended up as an account manager. So I ended up as a corporate account manager for our large organizations that we would work with. So it was a fantastic time in my life. Fantastic to work for such a big company. And BMW themselves are a fantastic employer. So they would give you a fantastic benefits package, which included lovely cars as well. So it was a brilliant place to sort of get my experience within a corporate setup. And then that led to me sort of making the move into co-founding Bramah HR. So I'd done a little bit of recruitment work prior to joining BMW. So I had a little bit of knowledge there. But our director, Gaby, who is somebody who came from a recruitment and HR background, has all of our sort of has a great deal of HR experience, and she saw a sort of gap in the market with how outsourced HR companies operate. So we sort of put our heads together and we set up the business, which is easier to do than you think, actually. So when people think about setting up businesses, they think, oh, it's going to cost a lot, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, and there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to think about. And there is a lot of things you have to think about, but the cost of things you can keep to a minimal. It's definitely open to anybody out there, and if you're willing to work hard and put in the hours to sort of build your brand, build your sort of internal infrastructure, then the world is your oyster, if you like. Yeah. So we set up the business a year ago. We've been trading ever since, and it's been going from strength to strength. I joined a little while after Gaby set it up. So I assisted her with her setup initially when I was at BMW. But have been able to draw on my skills working for sort of smaller companies and working for large corporates to give us a bit of direction when it comes to how we operate and how we sort of do things and transact with our customers. So that's been a really fantastic process, and one that we've really enjoyed doing, if I'm honest. And as I say, we've been moving from strength to strength. We work with a number of contractors now that work with our business for Bramah HR to service our customers. And we're looking to sort of build on that, really. We've had a fantastic first year. We're looking to bring some more experience into the team. We're looking to grow our customer network, which is happening every day, and that's where we are now. It's a fantastic business and something that is ever changing. The world of HR is an ever changing industry. It's never the same. Things change, legislation changes, so essentially the rules on how you do things. It's an ever-evolving beast, if you like, which is fantastic because it keeps us on our toes.
I mean, fantastic. What a great story to sort of go from, like you say, 14, 15, wanting to be a professional footballer, going through all the trades, and then working your way up to co-founding a HR company. And you've got all the experience of the corporate world, the smaller corporate world, and all that. So it just sort of fits really with you and Gaby. So congratulations. I think that's fantastic. Fantastic career story. So thank you so much for sharing that. What do you think sort of been your biggest challenge over that whole period that you found?
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, it's been more to do with self-doubt. And I think that creeps in with a lot of people, and people worry about what they need to be able to do, and if they think too hard about things, then they can kind of get caught up in the idea that actually maybe they're not able to do it, or they're not capable of doing things. But I think once you put yourself in there, push your comfort zones, and try and get out of those, and see if you can learn and implement those learnings, then you'll be able to go far. I think it's all in your own mind, really. It's very much something that you're in control of. And I think that if you think you can't do something, then you won't. So naturally, push yourself. Say that you can do it. Give it a go. If you don't succeed first time, carry on. Because I think for me, it's very much been that if I put my mind to something, then eventually it will come good. But that's not to say that it comes good every time, because, you know, if it did, then I'd be a billionaire or something, or probably a footballer, one of the two.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I
Or
think,
both, probably.
yeah, or both. Yeah. So I think it's all about managing your own mind and putting your mind to whatever you want to do, and you will eventually get there. And I think that's how you should be with everything in your life, really, is take tasks as they come, expect to fail, learn from your failings, and push on from there, and you'll eventually get to where you want to be. And there's nothing anybody sort of can do to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. There's always a way to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. Well, that was my next question, was if you've got any final bits of advice, but I think you've just given some amazing bits of advice. You've made my job easier. I haven't had to ask so many questions. So no, any final bits of advice for anybody, school age students just out to make their choices or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say to get out and try things. If you don't know, go and try it. That's something that I've done and have come to where I am today. So if you're not sure, go and speak to somebody. Ask your parents, ask your older brothers and sisters, ask your uncles, whoever you can draw on, to give you that information, because they'll have more experience. So ask the question, go and try it out. Don't be afraid to try new things, and you'll eventually find something that will fit right in with what you want to do, and you'll love it. So that would be my final bit of advice.
Thank you. And thank you, Chris, so much for your time today. Good luck with Bramah HR.
Thank you very much.